We all know about the Mazda RX-7, particularly the FD version, guys. That car was put in initial D and truly became famous. It was meant to take on Nissan Skyline GTRs, Toyota Supras, even Porsches and BMWs. That car was truly a Japanese supercar. So when they announced they were making an RX-8, people got excited until they actually seen the final product. This is a 2007 Mazda RX-8 and it gets a lot of hate. So today we're going to check out this Mazda RX-8. I'm going to go for a drive in it. We're going to check out its features, some of its quirks, and we're really going to figure out if this car deserves all the hate it gets or if it's a car that's truly just misunderstood. What's up everyone? Welcome back to another Ross review. That's right, today we're standing next to a 2007 Mazda RX-8. A car that does unfortunately get a lot of hate. Just a bit of facts about this car. It was launched back in 2002 and it was stayed in production for about 10 years. So they stopped making these in around 2012. They did, however, sell these just about everywhere in the world. It was sold in America, it was sold in the UK, it was sold here in Australia. And the starting price for one of these, when it was brand new here in Australia, was about $50K. Now here's one of the reasons why this car got a lot of hate. Back in '95, if you wanted to pick up an RX7 FD here in Australia, that was going to cost you $100K. So let's just think about that, right? This car is about 10 years newer and it's half the price. So why is that? Well, this has still got a rotary engine. It's a 13B Wankel still, similar to the FD, but not the same. This is a non-turbo engine, makes around 232 horsepower and 159 pound-foot of torque. Really not a torquey engine. Is very interesting, and we'll find out how this drives a little bit later on. 6-speed manual in this particular model, and it's rear-wheel drive. You could have got these in an automatic or a 5-speed. All right, guys, so just gonna have a walk around with this RX-8. Straight away, you've got this very nice blue kind of teal color. I've not seen many RX-8s in this color. It looks very nice. Now, it's got a very unique design, this car. You come up to the hood, you know, you've got a triangle here. You come down as well, you've got a triangle right on the front lip there. And the styling is very hit or miss, I find, in this car. A lot of people either love it or they hate it. And to be honest, I don't mind it. I think it's not a bad looking car. I don't think it's anything beautiful, but it's not a bad looking car. Now, this particular car has some aftermarket 18-inch wheels on it. So these are not the standard wheels. I'll show you a picture of what the standard wheels should look like. And you just come down and the car looks, you know, it's very nice. And for the age of this car, you know, it's in fairly good shape. Come around to the rear end here, guys, and you've got dual exhaust. So you've got dual exhaust on this. This particular car has aftermarket exhaust. It actually sounds phenomenal, guys. Can't wait for you to hear it. And again, you've got the rotary triangle in the diffuser right there. And you come up, you've got a little spoiler here, and the tail lights. Now, these are a light that has got a bit of controversy. It's got a lot going on in it, but again, you know, you either love it or you hate it. Coming around again now, and that's basically the car. It's got a very unique design. We'll show you what's on the inside right now. All right, guys, so we're inside the RX-8 now, and I just gotta say, man, like, it's fairly nice in here. I mean, yeah, there's a bit of hard plastic and, you know, it could be a bit nicer, but let's remember, you know, this RX-8 was classed at half the price of the previous FD model. So I think this was a car that was really meant to be more affordable, more attainable for a younger crowd. And, you know, I can't really complain in here, you know, for the money. I mean, it's got some plastic, it's got some of this, but, you know, you got nice leather seats. They're not aggressively bolstered, but they're fairly nice. They hug you. They feel all right. They're a little bit hard, but, you know, I think these are a perfectly nice seat, and they still give it that sporty feel. Cool thing about the seat is you got these triangles in the headrest again, just to mention the Rotary. So that's a nice little quirk again with Mazda implementing these triangles everywhere around the car. I think that's pretty cool. I like that. And again, you know, one strange item, you've got about the weirdest kind of sun visor I think I've ever seen. It's a sun visor that has holes in it. Yeah, if Mazda, you can explain that one. Thank you very much. That's weird. Again, you know, the door sides, yeah, it's, you know, hard plastic again. It's, at the top, it's a little bit soft, which is weird because the bottom is hard. Not sure why they did that. You know, you got a nice silver kind of door handle here, and it feels fairly solid. I mean, it doesn't feel that cheap besides some of this plastic. The wheel, again, it feels very nice. You know, it's not overly sporty. You've got a basic grip here, but it's just a nice size. It's leather wrapped, and it feels nice. You know, you've got a few button controls here. And going with the gauges again, you've got this beautiful center tachometer. Revs out to 9 grand, guys. Like, this thing loves to rev. And I really can't wait for the drive. It's pretty fun to drive, actually, guys. Spoiler alert. And yeah, you know, other than that, you know, this is a driver-focused car. You got that big tacho there, and everything else is basically standard. You know, you've got your air conditioning controls here. And this particular owner has put in a aftermarket radio. And just a few mods quickly to mention that have been done to this car. He's got an aftermarket radio. He's got aftermarket wheels, and he's got an exhaust system on this car. And take a listen to this exhaust right now because it sounds beautiful. Now, I just want to bring your attention to this shifter here. It's a 6-speed manual, this particular model. Now, you could get these in a 5-speed, or you could get these in an automatic, depending on what model you got. This is the 6-speed, so this is the one I would recommend. And straight away, it's just a very short shifter. It's very low, and the throws are just really nice. They're crisp, and it's got to be one of the shortest throwing gearboxes that I've reviewed that's stock. This is a very nice gearbox. Probably the closest one I reckon that would resemble this gearbox would be like the FPVs I review, and I love their gearbox. So nice work, Mazda. That's a good solid gearbox there. Not really sure why this handbrake has this big loopy thing. It's a bit silly, but it's there. Again, you got an armrest here. You pull that back, and you know, you've got 2 cup holders there, which is nice to see. And an unusual thing about this car is that this center console sort of goes all the way to the back. It's kind of an unusual design, but again, this whole car is an unusual design. So you've got 4 seats in this car, so it's a 4-seater. And you've got suicide doors. So just take a look at these suicide doors. Pretty cool. You don't often see this on any kind of a car. So, you know, this really reminds me back to, like, you know, the old half cab truck days where, you know, you might have a extended cab with a suicide door. But being this on a sports car, pretty cool idea. Not really sure why any other automotive people don't do this. It'd be a pretty cool idea. Let's jump into the back seats, guys, and I'll show you what's back there. So inside the back seats now, the suicide doors actually really help you get in here. There's actually a lot of space back here. Well, surprisingly enough, I'm 6 foot tall, and I've got enough headroom. I've got just enough leg room. And, you know, I could probably comfortably sit back here for, you know, a short to medium trip. And that's pretty impressive, you know, for a car that's supposed to be this sporty, you know, 2-door feel. Having these suicide doors really, really helps, and it gives a lot more space back here. You got that console again, like I said, it comes all the way down through here, gives it a kind of a cool, unique look. And you know, we've got our own cup holders back here. We've got our own storage compartment as well. And you know, the seats are pretty nice. They're bolstered a bit as well. And you know, all in all, these are really nice back seats, especially for like a coupe style sporty car. Good job, Mazda. These are usable back seats. All right, guys, so we're driving the 2007 Mazda RX-8. And yeah, this thing's already pretty well surprised me. You know, like, I'll be the first to admit it, you know, this thing is not insanely fast. It's definitely not on the level of RX7 FD, but this thing is no slouch, you know, like, it's pretty quick still. Yeah, you know, there's really not much power at all in the low RPM. When this car sort of really starts to come alive is around like the 5,000-6,000 mark. And, you know, it starts to move though once you get up there. And the power just really comes on quite nicely. And like even hitting 9,000 on redline, it just feels like it's comfortable. Like the car's not like getting wild, and you know, in a regular piston engine it would be, you know, shaking and going nuts. This Rotary, it's just right in its happy place. It loves to be revved, and you know, it's a pretty fun car to drive actually because of that. For this car only having 232 horsepower, it seems to go pretty well. This is a car that wasn't made to go up against the RX-7. It wasn't meant to go up against all the Skylines and the Supras. This was a car that was meant to go up against like the 350Z. You know, a perfect example of what this car would have gone up against nowadays would be the BRZ. And, you know, if I'm being perfectly honest, I've driven quite a few BRZs. This one's more fun to drive. The more I drive this car around today, guys, the more it kind of messes with my mind that you can pick one of these up for like 10K. And, you know, because it has so much hate and it's a car that I really think is just misunderstood, this car is a bargain at 10K. Now, you know, who knows, if you guys are watching in America or the UK, you know, I probably guarantee you can pick these up for pennies on the dollar. But, you know, over here in Australia, we pay a lot more for everything, and 10K for a car like this is an absolute steal. And, you know, I'm just pretty baffled as well with the condition of this car. You know, yeah, you know, I was expecting you to be able to pick one up for 10K, but I was not expecting it to be this nice. This car is really nice inside. It's got leather interior, it's got air conditioning. You know, you've got these back seats with these awesome suicide doors that makes it fairly practical. And it's just fun to drive. You know, this is a really driver's focused car. And I gotta say, man, like, this is a pretty fun car. Pretty fun car. Oh yeah. Man, this thing loves to rev out just like the FD. You know, it is definitely a different experience, but man, you know, you just gotta love that Rotary. Really, really nice delivering the power on this. It just loves to rev, and man, it feels good to wind it out. And the handling is just really phenomenal in this car. It's really surprised me. The front end is just so light and nimble. It's just like, you know, you just turn the wheel and it just instantly goes where you want it. It's got a really nice feel to it. Alright guys, I'm going to finish the video off here. Just going to say again, you know, I really think this RX-8 is misunderstood. Yes, it is no FD, but this car is a really fun car in its own right. And for the money, especially on the used market, this car is an absolute bargain. So yeah guys, hope you liked that video. Please, if you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. And yeah, hit that like button. Check me out on patreon.com. Check me out on Instagram, Rosh Reviews AU. And yeah, we'll see you on the next video, guys.
Something like this.